It was incorrect. This place is a place of truth. Everything that I say from this place must be a place of truth as it represents the gospel of God. I don't care whether you are a pastor, a bishop, or a postman. When you are wrong, you have to own when you are wrong. And so not in a quiet place, but from the same pulpit in which I said it, I wanted to address it. Everybody wants to be an adult until it's time to apologize. I am a full-grown adult, and I take full accountability of everything that I say and everything that I do. So I wanted to take a moment and apologize to the Samuels family. I wanted to apologize to the larger community. I wanted to apologize to my noble brothers of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. Hear this, because an apology is only messed up if you match it with an excuse. Apologies do not come with an excuse. An apology comes with ownership. And I want to make a very clear lesson and indication: when people hold you accountable, that does not make them a hater. When people hold you accountable, that means they have expectation for what it is that you ought to be doing and how you ought to function and how you ought to flow. This week, I got a whole lot of people that want to help me be accountable, and I want to thank them for helping me to be a better person. I'm so thankful that God ain't finished with me yet. I don't do everything that I'm supposed to do, how I'm supposed to do it, but repentance means there is a change of behavior. So as a consequence, I want to say to you, watch me grow, watch me do better, and watch me represent the body of Christ at a much higher level than what I've done before. If I've let you down, it was never my intention. If I dishonored you, never my intention. You felt disrespected, never my intention. My intention every time I stand is for God to be glorified and for the people to be equipped. Now, let's go do the work of Jesus Christ and do what it is that God has called us to do.
Hi, you guys. So I wanted to come on and to talk about, it's been, well, first of all, let me start with Pastor Brian, since I had clicked that video when the video started. Um, I wasn't necessarily trying to start with him, but he apologized recently, and he's stating that he was making an apology because the information came to him that some of the things that he was saying had not been verified, like the GoFundMe wasn't started by Kevin Samuels' family. My thing is, what he said, however, still held true, because some of the stuff he was saying was true. He didn't know that the family didn't start the GoFundMe. Okay. But the context in which he was saying what he was saying is true, because Kevin sat on YouTube for a very long time until he went viral and he misled people about who he was. So he was telling the truth. Okay. So let me say that, but I can understand why he would come back and apologize. He is a public figure. He's someone who is a man of God, and you just don't, it's just an unnecessary to have that out there that way. And so I understand where he's coming from. Now back to what I wanted to get into, because you guys know it's been over a week now, or maybe longer, since his passing, Kevin Samuels' passing. What I've been noticing, and this is why I wanted to come on and talk about this, and because a couple other YouTubers have touched on it as well, and one of them I'm going to play, and the other person is Charisma from Tales from the Cult. I mean, yeah, always Tales from the Cult. She was touching on the fact that the GoFundMe said Melanie King started this GoFundMe, right? Now, however, Melody King has come out saying that she did not do this. So I agree with Charisma. Someone put the GoFundMe up. If the family didn't put it up and Melody didn't put it up, who put it up? And they put it up really early on. And I think that's how this information got to Pastor Bryant, because he spoke on this right around the time that the man passed, right? I didn't even hear that Pastor Bryant said anything until a few days later, after that Mother's Day service. And so for him to have that information, that means that GoFundMe was already up. Somebody was quick to put that up. And they had already probably confirmed it. Remember, some of us were still even trying to confirm if the man was really gone. So, yeah, somebody put it up. Okay, that the family didn't do it and this lady didn't do it, then who did it? Now, some of these women that followed behind the Manosphere, they are, yeah. The one last year, and I don't know her name, but it was something with pink in there, pink something. And she kind of goes behind, she was kind of going behind Kevin Samuels and some of the other guys from the Black Manosphere and trying to make it sound as if everything they're saying is true, right? So the women that come behind them, they speak from that perspective of everything they're saying is true. And this is why. Um, she and how to catch, I think the pink lady was how to catch a high value man, because that's what he was really using, this high value man line, right? And so she ended up getting arrested. This was the beginning of last year. She was arrested for identity theft, and fraud. And it was kind of weird because I had just put one of these videos, one of my videos up, and I was saying, like, people need to be careful passing their information. Like, be careful passing all your information to people like that, because y'all don't know who these people are. Even I don't care how high value they out here trying to make you think they are. Unless you know that for sure, that they're sitting on the money that they're saying they're sitting on, you might want to verify that before you start passing your information to these people. Because Kevin had this application, and it was just asking all kind of stuff that, really identifies a person just beyond what a stranger to me would even need to know. And that's just my opinion, okay? Not accusing him of doing anything. I'm just saying that I felt like the application was very, just intrusive. Um, anyway, she ended up going to jail, I guess going to jail, because we haven't heard from her since. So, some of these women that's following behind him, who knows what they're capable of. And that's all I'm saying with that. Because the lady is saying that she didn't put it up there, even though it had her name on there. She was saying, "Oh, I would never make those grammar mistakes or whatever." Like someone was saying in some comments, she could have put the grammar mistakes in there intentionally as well. Just because, you know, you're saying that doesn't mean it doesn't mean that you didn't intentionally put in the mistakes there to make people think that somebody else would do that. Because why would somebody think to use her name, right? Like, um, I've never heard of her, to be honest, until this whole situation happened. Like I said, I knew there was some women. Jessica X used to be one of them, and they're all, what, racially ambiguous, right? Except for one. It's one lady that I'm not even going. I'm not going. But she was, the only identifiable black woman who was over there doing all that stuff too. Um, and I'm sure they wasn't paying her dust as far as attention. Because, like I said, even the Melanie lady, I didn't even know who she was. The only one that I would hear them really speak on was Jessica X. So I didn't know about some of these other women. I saw the lady that is identifying black, one time. I didn't know the angle she was coming from until I started listening to her, and how she was kind of praising them for some of the stuff that they were saying. And so I was like, oh, okay, so she's one of these people as well. And I guess because people started calling him out for colorism, he tried to find somebody that he could use to make it sound like he wasn't on some colorist nonsense, because he was. Even his ex-wife, verified that. She said that he was a colorist, for real, for real. And I'm speaking of Kevin Samuels. that he thought that he believes that there is status with skin color. But see, here's the thing for me as Black people, we can change that. Just because somebody else is making you feel that way, that's only true if you allow them to make you feel that way. I hope people understand that. Like, you don't have to push nobody else's agenda. You're pushing that agenda because you want to push that agenda. So let's be clear about that. Okay, these are all man-made rules. All this nonsense, the fake beauty standards he was running over there, all that stuff is man-made. Okay, and you as a Black person, if you choose to represent that and believe in that, that's on you. You don't get to blame nobody else for that, because none of this stuff was dropped down by God. Okay, it wasn't. It's all man made. So if you're falling into that, then you are. And so anyway, um, I've been noticing though that they've been doing a lot of Kevin talk. Like they're still doing a lot of Kevin's talk. I see that O'Shea Duke Jackson is not doing it, and Obsidian, I think that's how you pronounce his name. Obsidian is not doing it, and so these are the people that I really thought was Kevin's friends, though. Anyway, um, and so he's not really running all the Kevin conversation like that. But this other guy, I mean, he has like 15 videos up. And then when they did this memorial, this online memorial, which you would think something like that, since Kevin have a lot of people on YouTube as well who are not good with him or wasn't good with him. And we told him in life, so don't come with that nonsense about somebody talking about him now. Anything I said about him, I said about him, and he already was aware that how I felt about it. Believe that, because he'd clicked on the videos. Clearly, if he'd have came running over here, put a strike on my page. So anyway, so don't come over here with that nonsense. Anything people said about Kevin, we have said it in life. Trust and believe that. Why not hold this memorial in private and with some dignity, right? But no, they're online, just collected super chat. I was tickled because when I clicked on the video, I saw all these colorful boxes with money running across the top of the screen. And so I said, oh, okay, I get it now. This is really a money grab for a lot of these people. They probably didn't even know Kevin like that, but they're pretending like they had this relationship with him at this point. Who knows? Who would know? Right? Because I didn't see any of these people with Kevin. I didn't see Kevin on any of these people's platform, but then I wasn't looking for them or him. But I'm not the only person saying it. So that's how I get the strong feeling that people are just really on a money grab at this point by constantly still bringing all this stuff up. Let me play you with Super 75 had to say, and I'll come back.
But watching that online fan service memorial thing was disgusting. Disgusting. And I'm not a Kevin Samuels fan, but even I'm like, God damn, y'all doing more shit than white folk right now. At least with white folk, I understand why they would want to spiritually bind you and keep that energy and keep it going and keep you locked into a certain realm and dimension. But to have your own people do this to you and these are men, Black men, doing this to another Black man. So miss me with all the white supremacy stuff, but this was disgusting, cringy. In the words of King Honor, snatch these dudes' honor. They have no honor. They damn sure don't have my respect, but I respect the hustle and the grift. And I'm curious as to why O'Shea and Obsidian are so quiet about this. This was y'all mans. This was the guy that y'all said y'all talked to at 3, 4 in the morning just on a random whim. And to see you guys so quiet while they parade your man's dead body and memory and name for clicks, views, and monies, and you guys are.
So yeah, I agree with him. It's getting a little weird now how they are kind of like, holding conversations about stuff. They could go and move on with their content, right? Like go on and move on with your content at this point. Because I feel like the conversation probably was a 2-day yeah, a 2-day thing. Like, and then what's also funny about a lot of these people is a lot of everybody don't like to say when Vivica said what she said, when the pastor said what he said, when Cynthia G said what she said. However, y'all are still talking about him, and you guys are not allowing his family to grieve, um, either, right? You don't want anyone else to say anything about him, but y'all doing all the talking and creating all the videos. So it's very suspect. I do agree with people that are saying that, and it's tacky. It's very tacky because you don't see Cynthia G doing that. You don't see I'm not doing it. You don't see any other people, anyone else who really didn't care for him like that doing that. But y'all got 15, 16, 17 videos up, and I haven't even been to some of these people's pages. There's no telling what they're over there doing. And you're supposed to be his friend. So when are you guys going to give his family the opportunity to grieve without hearing people saying all this stuff about him? Right? Now, I don't know what his relationship was like with O'Shea towards the end, because there were some rumblings about them falling out, and I don't really, and then remember, I think I made a video when they had that conference, that Black Manosphere conference. I think the guy's name is Theo, who put that together. Kevin did not show up, and he lives there in Atlanta, but he didn't go to the conference. He didn't even host like a little party or anything. He just did not even, blink about it. And these guys kind of helped him in the beginning, right? Because he came from the beauty side of things. He really wasn't a part of this manosphere. And so he started sitting on panels with a lot of these guys. And so they kind of helped him in the beginning, even though he surpassed them. He, like I think I said this already, it would have been okay for him to at least host their welcome party or one towards the end of the conference. I don't know if they invited him. Some guy that was online was saying, saying that they invited him. He said he was busy or something. I don't know, but it's possible that he just did not have the relationship anymore with these people. Once he started to, get into the higher numbers. So a lot of them are probably being extremely fake about their friendships with him. And then they were floating some guy around saying this was his best friend. However, the slight investigating that I call myself doing, I don't see that man with Kevin Samuels like in no images nowhere on any of his social media platforms. And so if this was your best friend, exactly when was he your best friend? And y'all, when you guys were little kids? Because you would, even men who are good friends, they have images together, right? Even if they're not together every day, they are going to have some type of time that they stop and spend with each other. So I just thought that was odd that he's on there calling himself Kevin Samuel's best friend. And that's what I'm saying. It's some trickery going on over there at that Black Manosphere. And I think what they're doing is tacky. I do agree with Tales from the Code on that. And she was also kind of thinking, saying that she think that the Melanie King lady really put the GoFundMe up. And even TMZ, as you guys can see in the video, TMZ even posted that the family said they don't want the money from whoever created the GoFundMe. But I think the question is, who is behind the GoFundMe and who told them to do that in the first place, right? Um, so yeah, just be careful, be mindful who you giving your information to, who you giving your money to. Kevin Samuels was not broke. Now, was his papers in order? Like, did he have a will, life insurance? Did he speak to his family about how he wanted things handled? I don't know. They will, if they don't have anything in writing, they probably are going to have to go through a little of a process to get their hands on certain things. But yeah, he should be. There was no reason for anyone to create a GoFundMe for this man's family without them giving them that permission to do that. So I don't know. But she's claiming she didn't do it. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments about all of this. How do you feel about what Super had to say as far as O'Shea and Obsidian not stepping in and telling the other guys to knock it off? And you never know. Maybe on the back end, they are telling them to knock it off and they just are continuing continuing to do what they're doing, because every time those guys go live, they're collecting super chats and money and stuff. They're not going live because they just love them Kevin Samuels, okay, and they just want to continue to mourn him, and then come out and tell everybody else don't talk about him. But we're gonna continue to talk. We're gonna talk about him 5 or 6 times a day for 2 or 3 hours, right? So yeah, it's a little suspect. I do agree with charisma on that. It's very sus. Let me know what you guys think about all of this in the comments. About the GoFundMe, about TMZ even getting involved in that. Now, if people really wanted to, like if they really wanted to call out who is behind that GoFundMe, they probably really could, because that could be traced to who did that. Um, and are they going to give the money back, or are they going to, because they were asking for $50,000 to donate to his family. Now I don't know if they ever got to the 50,000. I never went to the GoFundMe, um, and when I tried to go to it this morning, it was deleted already. So um, I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think they should get the money back, since the family is saying that they don't want to take anything um, from the person who collected the money? And then I guess the other thing is, this Dennis person is trying to push himself as the next Kevin Samuels. How do you guys feel about that? And do you think it's like too early for all of that? And do you think that that's something other people should say and not you? Do you think that other people should see you as that? Or do you think it's okay that he would say that about himself? Um, I'm wondering if he is. I think I have was, because Kevin Samuels was a colorist. Like he like the ex-wife said, he think that there's status that comes along with high yellow, light skinned people or biracial people. Because I think the Dennis person, I think Charisma was saying that he is a Afro Latino, and I think he is the guy that this is what I first heard of Kevin Samuels. Supposedly he tried to use this man as an example of someone that he hooked up as a high value man. Like, he hooked this high value man up with this lady. I think the lady is from Colombia or something. Um, and that was his like his example of how he's helping put couples together, right? But yeah, let me know what you guys think about all of this. Do you think it's tacky for the Manosphere to continue to keep talking about Kevin and collecting, um, donations, super chats, and all this stuff in the name of their memorializing him? I felt like that was really tacky, because if these guys, first of all, these guys, since they're so high value, they should have got together anyway. Because remember, they're all supposed to be high value. They're all over there talking crazy to women, because they claim they have all this money and they can do that. So you would think that they would have all gotten together and paid for the funeral. Remember, Theo was saying he paid for the conference. So you would think that they could have gotten together and paid for a service for Kevin if his family was in fact in need. There was no need to have a GoFundMe anyway, right? When you're rolling with all these big, high balling, high spending, big buck having, big bucks having black men, right? They should have the money. So that was something they could have done offline. They could have maybe took 2 minutes of whatever they were doing and put it online. But I think that was really tacky to do that way and say it's some type of online memorial, and then have super chats running while you're claiming you're memorializing someone, right? And so, yeah, let me know what you guys think about the way they handled that. If you even saw any of it, or if you just saw the title or the video floating on your timeline. How do you feel about O'Shea Duke Jackson and Obsidian not really saying anything to the other guys of the Black Manosphere. I don't know. I heard, like I said, I've been hearing that there has been a breakdown of the Black Manosphere anyway, and I've also been hearing a lot of them are under investigation um, for different stuff. Like the guy was just saying that Michelle Pink was her name. Michelle Pink was the one who had got in trouble with the identity fraud. So, but there are some of those guys that are under investigation for quite a few things as well. And so they, the whole thing might be dismantling. I think O'Shea tried to separate himself from a lot of it. Before YouTube got wind of that he was even a part of it, probably. That's what I'm thinking. Um, but yeah, let me know what you guys think about that. Do you think that they should have spoke up? Because we all know that O'Shea and Kevin Samuels had a relationship, even though Kevin, you know, his channel grew far faster than O'Shea's. They had a relationship, and O'Shea was the one helping Kevin get his channel up and all that. Um, but yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments about this conversation. Go and check out Tales from the Code if you guys want to see her video on questioning the whole thing about the GoFundMe. She has a video up on her channel. And then check out Super 75 if you guys want to hear everything he had to say about this whole online memorial. And let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys in the next video.